project that Quicken Loans Community Investment Fund donated $500,000 to United Community Housing Coalition to knock on 60,000 doors in the city of Detroit for folks who were experiencing difficulty paying their property taxes. And many of our neighbors, their incomes are fixed, and there's just not the money there to do that. So we have now, as of when I came here, knocked on 59,013 doors. And yeah, it's really good stuff. I'm really excited about this. So we have, many people aren't home or don't answer their door, but we have talked to 23,644 residents, both renters and owners. We found 45,000, almost 46,000 properties that were occupied out of the 59, which is really good because we have vacancies, right? And we talked to about 51% of the people in these homes, right? So one of the interesting things, because the city has a program, it's called the ROR, Right of First Refusal, and it's when, rather than have properties go that are owned by investors only, rather than have them go through the auction, last year Quicken Loans donated $300,000 for 80 house paid the property taxes. And they ended up going through the city, going to United Community Housing Coalition, and we made 80 renters homeowners of the home that they lived in. So the interesting thing this year is that we have a little over 3,000 renters who are interested, if the property goes to foreclosure, they would be interested in buying it. And the best thing about it is that when it goes through United Community Housing Coalition, if they don't have all the money to purchase the house, and last year the prices of the homes that were sold to the renters were between $2,500 and $5,500. So it's very doable. And we talk to them and sort of vet the entire situation, the condition of the house, if the renter has the ability to keep up the house because we want a good neighbor. And in a lot of cases, a lot of renters are actually doing the maintenance on the house, which is just the craziest thing. So the other thing that is, and 78% of the renters we talk to are very interested in owning the home if that becomes possible. So we're working on that right now, right? So the property tax exemption, which I've talked about at a lot of meetings, some people know about. So if your income is below the federal guideline, you would qualify for an exemption. Could be 50%, but in most cases, the city will give, the Board of Review will give 100% exemption, right? If you kind of go over the income guideline, the federal guideline, but you have extenuating circumstances and life happens, right? You could have exorbitant medical bills, death in the family. There are a lot of situations you could still be over, and everyone should apply for that that's even knows or had a situation that has set them back on their taxes. I tell people, don't say no to yourself. Let the Board of Review say no. Just step out there, take that chance. We're going to help with that too. So we found 5,300, a little over 5,300 folks when we went out that said that they would qualify when we showed them the income guidelines. But we only went out to folks who are behind on property taxes. There are folks that are seniors that have been struggling to pay it but have continued, and they would be exempt. And we want to keep people in their homes. So these are some overall city numbers, but I have Cornerstone numbers because what we did, and I know you guys aren't going to see this, this is our city map. And we worked with 29 community groups all over the city. We hired on, through the community groups, 400 Detroiters to canvass in their own neighborhood, right? We did not want strangers canvassing in our neighborhoods. So over here, I had a little team of folks that my son grew up here, so he was a canvasser. My friend and colleague Tawana Odom, that is from Morningside, was there. We had talked to Jim prior, because if you guys could have done it in your group, but you kind of didn't have the capacity to do it. So we wanted to get it done, right? So, yeah, so we had 29 community groups, and we canvassed over here. So we knocked on 1,984 doors over here, right? And we found 1,481 properties that were occupied, 662 that were vacant, and then there's that possibly occupied, because sometimes the neighbors keep up the property, and we want it to look like it's occupied. So there was about only about 14 properties that we weren't sure, right? So of the 1,481, we contacted over 900 and spoke with over 900 folks about property taxes. We do it on an app, and it's really quick. So kind of the breakdown was 56% of the folks we talked to were owners, owner-occupied, and 30% were renters in this area, and 14% was others. Others are, some people call them squatters, some people, we call them informal residents. Also, it could be a family home, but their name is not on the deed, and so it's kind of a different situation, right? So, and we have lots of situations in our city. So, we have, okay, relationship to property, yeah, we already did that. I'm trying to do this fast because we're moving, yeah. Okay, let me just go on. Okay, so likely to foreclose occupied homes, we have 129 that are looking, you know, and there are people in them. So we'll see as time goes on, as it gets closer to the Wayne County Tax Foreclosure Auction, exactly how many there will be, because what we're doing is triaging with the entire situation. We're doing workshops every month. The partners that helped us with Neighbor to Neighbor are going to be sponsoring workshops on a monthly basis to help people fill out the property tax exemption and put all their documents together, because you've got to have documents, and we're going to help them through the process. We feel like that's very important because it's a long application and it's a lot to get together, and people are unfamiliar with this. So we just really, really want to help them. So we're going to start in June. Quicken Loans Community Investment Fund, United Community Housing Coalition, and local CDCs and community groups that partnered with us. So this is an entire city kind of thing going on, but we'll be here for Cornerstone. I can tell you, Snapback is going to be, they were one of our partners, and they'll be doing monthly, we're not sure of what day yet, but we're going to be doing a lot of media on, I know 910, we're going to be on, you know, on that radio station and a couple of others. We're going to be on buses and all social media. And we'll come out to the community groups again and announce, you know, and do mailers.
If someone, I'm thinking of next door, well, maybe 20 different communities.
Yeah.
The question would be, if you're being subject to foreclosure,
right,
call this number. Would that be?
What we're,
is there a?
Yeah. So what we're setting up a website. We're also going to have a text interaction that you can text a number. We're getting a hold of the number. You have to go through the process, and when you text in and you put just a little bit of information like where you are, it's going to link up to where the closest place is that you could go to do this. It will tell the name of the organization. She's saying, please end. And it's going to give you all the information. It's going to prompt you. So she said, I have to go.
So important. Turnover of people, you know,